The number one thing for me was the identity piece. Like I had so many stories of who I was as a person, some that I had created through experiences, some I had taken from people, what they had told me I was, all of those things. And I think the most important and the first piece for me around making more money was to hold the identity of the woman who makes more money.
Hello, welcome back to Wealthy as Fuck, the podcast. One of my most favorite people in the world, of course, one of my most favorite people to ever work with. I'm interviewing right now. We have the gorgeous Ange Simson.
Hi. Thank you for having me. That is a compliment if I've ever heard one. I like it.
And let's disclaimer, we're jumping on this right now and we're both in a fun mood. So this is we're just laughing at ourselves and I'm like, we're not even funny.
Yeah.
But how do I know Ange? Well, Ange herself, I'll get you to introduce yourself a bit more anyway. But Ange, well, you're a business coach essentially, which is quite a broad topic. But how did I meet you? Like Ange and I, we've known each other at least like 6, 7, 8, years. We both met when we both became leaders within the business we used to work for. We both built businesses in network marketing. And we connected that way. And I have since then, because it's been a few years since I've been active in that business, well, I let that business go. And since then, I have hired you as you've stepped into your business coaching as a mentor for me. You're now my one-on-one personal mentor, which I can't live without you. Like, I am in your Telegram chat daily. I've done your courses. I've invested a lot into you, and you've helped me so much build wealth within my business. And that's why I was like, and you got to come on the podcast. You got to talk about not only how you've massively scaled your income and wealth in your business, but how you help women in business themselves, like me, absolutely just like multiply money in a short period of time. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about you, more specifically what you do, how you help women, and let's start there before the
Okay.
open-ended questions start.
Easy. And you're right, because business coaching, it's such a broad, well, what kind of business? Like, what do you actually do? So my zone of genius is in personal branding, messaging, social media, and specifically for women who are in service-based online businesses. So that's my niche, if you would want to call it that. And I started in business 13 years ago. I wanted to study health because I was very unhealthy and was suffering with some health stuff. And so I was like, right, I'm going to get healthy. And then I loved the idea of being able to facilitate people discovering their own greatness and being able to heal themselves. And so I got into health coaching. I was good at it, but I was better at marketing myself than actually health coaching. I was a good health coach. I was a great health coach, helped a lot of women in the way that I wanted to, but I was constantly getting messages from other coaches, other health coaches saying, how are you booked out? Like, we keep seeing you post. We didn't have stories back then or reels, but people were like, how do you keep putting up posts saying you're booked out until, 6 months later, a year later, like you're always booked out. And I was like, well, I love marketing. I have always been obsessed with it. And so I then kind of transitioned into coaching health coaches, helping them to hit the months, become booked out that I did, then pivoted into network marketing, which is where I met you. And then about 2.5 years ago, I had a couple of conversations that really changed the trajectory of my career. And I realized I was living far below my potential. And I started back up with business coaching, but with a different niche and in a different way. And it has been insane the last 1.5 years. It has blown up bigger than I ever would have thought. Although when I say that, I'm like, don't downplay it, Ange. I knew it would be big. I knew I'd be good at it. Not being like arrogant, but just I know I'm good at it. So of course it works.
No, let's normalize that. Our conditioning, our scarcity broke mentality, like, oh, don't talk about ourselves, a tall poppy syndrome.
No,
Fuck
I'm
the tall
awesome.
poppy. Or whatever it is. We're not, you are awesome, I'm awesome, we're all awesome. But that's the thing, like I saw what you did because we've always stayed
Yeah.
in contact or I've been following you along. But this is the thing, your messaging spoke to me. I was like, oh my gosh, Ange is in my head. I need Ange. Help me, because I know I have something that's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
But how do I get it to help more people when there's so much out there? And you cut through the noise, which is exactly what like you've helped me do. And when we cut through the noise, we make more money.
Exactly.
No, there's so many things. Do you know what I want to talk a little bit more about money first and then like relationship with money, and then like some tips to help the audience with their business and
Yeah.
all the guys. So obviously you learned how to nail your messaging, how to nail your branding, all the things you teach. But
Yeah.
there's like I can do all that, right? Someone else can do all that too. But if we haven't worked on our relationship with money, our own personal energetics and beliefs, that's the cop block, that's the bottleneck. What was it for you? What was your journey with that? Like, was it really evident, or was it kind of like slow progress, constantly evolving, or big
Like, with
breakthrough?
money, like, how I
Yeah.
handled money. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I was so bad with money. I was so bad with money. Like, really, up until I started this business, so 2.5 years ago, I was, like, making pretty good money, but still doing month to month. Like,
Mm,
I'd be like, "Oh, I really want this. Okay, I'll just go buy it." I had, like, $6,000 in savings normally was that was, like, the number, and then I'd have, like, a car service that cost that, and then I'd have to, like, build that 6 up. Like, I was terrible. I was spending a lot. I was wasting a lot of money. I wasn't friends with money. I wasn't checking my bank accounts regularly. I was doing none of that. And I remember when I started this business, knowing that it was going to take off, it was going to blow up, and knowing that, I had big goals for myself with this. And not just this, but what I wanted the money that I created from this to create for my family. I knew I had to get really good with money. I had to
mm,
become friends with my money. So I started by having weekly money dates where I would like go, and I created a little spreadsheet myself, which is pretty crappy, but I still use it. I need a better one if you've got
you
one.
need you need mine.
I need yours. And every month I put everything in there, everything I've spent. And I think that in itself was such an eye opener because I was like, oh my God, I'm wasting so much money on this and that and Uber Eats and, a gym membership that I forgot to cancel and all the bits and pieces. So that was the first thing. And then I think I just slowly integrated some more habits to become friendly with money. So, like every morning, the first app I check is my bank account and I look at what's in there. I look at the total number because obviously 2.5 years ago, the most in savings I ever had was $6,000. I had to borrow $20,000 from my dad to pay a coach to like help me get started and to give me the kick up the butt I needed. And now when I open it and I see many, many six figures in there, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I wake up every day really happy and it keeps me
Yeah.
out of a scarcity mindset as well. But I started doing that when I had $5,000 sitting in there and $50 starting in there. I was like, I just need to look at it and be grateful. And so those things really helped. And now, I mean, it always helps to make more money. Like, I'm not going to discount the fact that I'm making a lot more than I ever
Mhm.
have, but I know that it would have been easy to just spend all of it. It would have been so
Yeah.
easy, you know?
Well, we all know that. That's exactly why people come to me. That was me. Like, we can earn more, but then you just have the threshold and the capacity to buy more. So instead of buying the $100 dress, you can afford the $200 dress.
Yeah. I'm like the $1,000 dress.
$1,000 dress. I get that though. I get that now, and I'm like, I don't. If something's $20, but it's a good brand and it's on discount, I'm like, steal. But I wouldn't buy something as low quality anymore
Yeah.
because I can afford better. But before I couldn't. It's we all have that like, oh, what's the point of inertia? But I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
too fancy for me. It's like we have this threshold. I don't know how much you want to talk specific numbers, but
Share everything.
when you first started, and I guess I want people to understand is I kinda know roughly you were definitely making more than me in our network marketing business because I know I was glassing really hard, but you were making the first in that first 1 to 2 5 figures, like the 10 to 20 grand, maybe beyond. I think
Yeah, like, yeah, combined it was probably like, honestly, I probably made up to about 12 in my network marketing
yeah,
business when I was doing really quite well with that, but I was also working as an influencer doing
yeah,
collaborations and other things on the side, so I was kind of sitting at, like, the 15 to 20K months on
yeah.
average back then, and, yeah, just blowing all of it.
But that's the thing, and I wanna bring this to attention because you might be listening and, like, I'm not even making that yet. And
Yeah,
I've been there where I'm like, I just want to crack my first 10K and then I just want to crack the 20K months. The thing is, I was at the 10K months before I did the work on my money
yeah,
and my relationship with money. But it's when you got there, perfect example of I was earning more. I'm earning what people are working so fucking hard to make, but you're blowing it just as much. So it didn't matter if you were to make 50 grand, you would have just blown it anyway.
yeah.
So, and now you're making, you know, 3 to 5 times that.
Yeah.
I wanna promote, I wanna brag about you because that's what you're helping me create. Like, since I've been working with you, I've doubled my monthly revenue within a few months. Like,
All you, girl, all you.
No, you as well. Take credit, both of us. Um, but anyway, I just wanted to share that because,
Yeah.
guys, and just perfect example. I talk about it all the time. When you heal your relationship with money and start to love money and
Mm,
love making more money, it's easier to make more money. So, and you're like,
totally.
I can handle what I have, but now let's why the fuck not have more?
Totally. And have a purpose for it. Like, I think one of the big things for me was I wanted to have a purpose for my money. And so in the beginning, we always told our kids we would take them to Disneyland. Even when I was with my first husband, I remember we had like Disneyland, like a printed picture of it on the wall. And I was like, Mummy's working in her network marketing business because one day we're going to take you to Disneyland. And like every year would roll around and I'd put it back on my vision board on the 1st of January and I'd be like, this is the year. And I'm like, this is not the year. Like, I'm never going to do this. And so when I started up this business, my first thing I did, I think I started my business in August. And in December, I said to Adam, I'm like, we're going to go to Disneyland. And he's like, okay, great. Like, let's work it out. And I'm like, no, no, no. I'm taking us to Disneyland. And to give you guys context, we have 4 kids between us and my dad came. But I'm like, no, no, I am taking us to Disneyland. And he's like, okay, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm paying for everything. And if you're good at math, that's an expensive trip. I
That's
mean,
very
Disneyland tickets are so expensive. Just going into the theme park itself is so expensive. So there was all that. Like we did Disney, Universal, the studio tour, all the things. Went for, I think, almost 2 weeks, had the best time. But me having the purpose for money of like,
yeah.
where is it going? And the first purpose was I needed to pay down my debt that I owed to my dad. I had a lot of tax debt, like a lot. So I was like, right, I'm going to pay that down, pay this down, go to Disneyland. And then which I find interesting, once we had done Disneyland, I lost a little bit of purpose again. Like I was like, oh, I think
Mhm.
we want to buy a house. I'm not too sure. And like kind of like started spending again. And I was like, I might buy myself this bag and I might buy myself this thing. And it was kind of like the shopaholics version of falling off the wagon. I like kind of forgot. And then we spoke to a couple of brokers about buying a house. And I was like, okay, reality check. Like we need a chunky deposit for the type of
Mhm.
house we want to live in. And that just blew up my purpose again. So now I'm like, boom, I want our dream house. So I'm going to put as much as I can towards that. And there's no more like silly spending. So I think money having a purpose of where to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
was so helpful to me.
It's a huge takeaway. It's actually so relevant with me this month because you helped me hit my highest cash month last month, but I had big purpose for it.
Yeah.
And half of it was some like tax. I don't even want to call it debt. It's just I owed tax from my last business and I transitioned to a company. So if you know, you know, it gets messy. If you don't know, don't even worry about it right now until you're there.
Yeah.
But now this month, I actually sat down yesterday at the beach in the morning. I was like, fuck, I haven't given, there's like an extra 10 grand for what I want to make this month
Yeah.
that I haven't given a purpose to. So I'm like,
Yeah.
no wonder
Good
it's like
purpose.
not coming to me because I haven't fucking allocated it. And it can be as simple as I just want that money sitting there in my profit account.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what yeah. So allocating, I talk about all the time, every day. If we don't allocate it,
It'll get allocated.
we get allocated and then, the car breaks down. It's always a vet, not for me, because this is why I don't have pets yet. One of the reasons, like for
Yeah.
clients, it's always a vet bill,
Yeah.
car
A
bill.
car bill,
Yeah.
all the things. I'm like, there's always a bill. We'll
Yeah.
find one.
It is. Okay, cool. Well, I love this. Again, it's just so much more evidence that you're not alone if you're like, no matter how much I make, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel enough because you're not handling it well.
Yeah.
Well, then now let's talk about, because I know people listening and I'm always like, even though you tell me every day when you coach me. Okay, so how do you help women in business scale their income so they can have more money to allocate and have fun and clear debt? What have you found? I'm like, already know this is more of an open ended question for you. Because you have quite a few pillars that are like the key things to learn. It's not just the one thing. Or
Yeah.
maybe what did you find was the biggest initiation into you becoming an expert in this one thing within your business that will make you more
Yeah.
money? And then what else came from that? Maybe take us on the journey as what
Yeah.
helped you scale really quickly and then how you teach that to others or what you teach to others.
I mean, I'd be interested what you think it is because I'm like, I know what the first thing is for me the goal is to teach people, which is identity work.
Mm,
You know, I do a lot around strategy because I think that you can have the identity, but if you don't do the work, you're just like, okay, nothing's going to happen. But the number one thing for me was the identity piece. Like I had so many stories of who I was as a person, some that I had created through experiences, some I had taken from people, what they had told me I was, all of those things. And I think the most important and the first piece for me around making more money was to hold the identity of the woman who makes more money. So
Yes.
from the beginning, my first number was $30,000 months. I'm like, I would love to make $30,000 in cash. Mind you, as a business owner, and I hope everyone knows this, I need to do a post on it because I think it's really important. I make $30,000 in cash in my business, but I don't take $30,000 of cash out of my business.
Yeah.
I had someone who was like, you make, 50, 70 grand a month. And I was like, yes, but I don't take that out of my business. It's reinvested back in and put in all the things.
And don't forget tax and GST, guys, like, and business expenses.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think the most important part for me was, okay, can I step into the identity? Because I had done 20K months. I'm like, right, what is the identity of the woman making 30K months? And literally every move I made was from that place. And
Mhm.
I call it my rich woman identity. And my Substack is called Rich Women Rituals because in my mind, it's not about the cash. It's also about how you show up as a woman. Are your conversations rich? Are your friendships rich? Is your self-care rich? Like how you're taking care of yourself. And I realized that first had to come. Otherwise, I would never hold what I created. Right. So I first month was a $30,000 month. And I literally put that down to the fact that I had the identity in place to be able to create that. The woman
Yeah.
who did the work, the woman who didn't give up. Usually in the past, if something wasn't working, I'd be like, oh, it's not working. I don't like this. Whereas now I'm like, everything, Kim, I'm like, everything is data. When
Yeah.
something doesn't work, we just got data. That's so exciting. Now let's try something else and get the data from that. So I don't stop trying and testing. And then as I did the 30 and I was like, I guess the new identity is 50. And that took me a little bit longer to sit in because I was like, the first month was so easy. Then the 50 felt like a big leap, because that was what I used to make in a year working retail. So I'm like, how can I make this much cash in a month? And then the next one was 75. And then it's like, now it's sitting at that 100. And I'm like, okay, so what is the identity shift needed for each income leap, but also to hold it and to be the woman who has that, again, what I call like your rich life? Because again, I've had times when I've made a lot of money, but not many parts of my life have felt really rich.
Yeah.
So identity is the number one thing for me, first and foremost, that I help my clients with, I believe.
I think I was attracted is because I saw that, like, the essence of you. That's what attracts me to you or attracted me to you, right?
Mm.
But then, and I think there's a level of, because I've always been, but like, tell me what to do. I need to know what to do. And I think it depends on our personality and how
Yeah.
much work we've done. And I've done a lot of work on myself
Yeah.
and my personality type. And it's not necessarily the doubting of my capabilities of like, I want to do all the things and I want to get it right the first way. So there's a level of patience. But I think I wouldn't go straight to, like, you're helping me with my identity, but you help me with the strategy. But what that does is it allows me to I have to step into well, how does a rich version of me operate?
Yeah.
She drops multi-five figures on a coach. She actually does what the coach says. She messages, like, I message you daily on, this is what I'm going through. This is what's coming up. This is my own conscious awareness of it. This is what I want to try. This is what feels good. But tell me what you would do to see if I can 1% make it better.
Yeah.
Like, I literally did that this morning, Tim. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do all this and then you're gonna look over it.
Yeah.
I'm really bossy. I'm a bossy client.
We call it your Dear Ange, her Dear Diary, but it's
Yeah.
Dear Ange.
Every morning. But the rich version of me, she's resourceful. It's like, see, what I mean? I didn't invest in you to grow my identity. I invested in you so you can help me get the right messaging,
Yeah.
the right system set up in my business. But that's how it looked like tangibly, which is what you teach. But then what it's actually giving me is all of those tangible things are like pieces of the puzzle that make me the woman making 30K months and then solidifying it as time goes. So it's almost like the reverse engineering. So I look at you as
Yes.
like the branding queen, the messaging queen.
Yeah.
It's almost like the specific strategy, but that's what you do, guys. Like, you buy, and this is what I
Yeah.
sell. Well, I help women is I give you the specific strategy to
Yeah.
organize your finances, to start multiplying your money and attract more in. And when you get given those, who you actually become from doing that work is you become the wealthiest version of you.
Totally. Totally.
So
And then it's looking at, like I would say for you already had the identity of the woman who can do, who can create. It was making sure the energy was aligned with how you wanted to do it.
yeah,
Getting
yeah,
out of the chaos and getting
yeah,
out of the hustle. So many women are like, to make this money, I have to hustle. Don't know how often I hear it of women going, oh my God, I'd love to do what you do. But like, I've got kids or I've got a part-time job or I've got this. And I'm like, dude, I got 4 kids. I don't work that much. I promise.
Yeah.
I work smarter, not harder. Like, you know,
That's the exact thing, and I think one of the biggest messages I've always learned this, and network marketing, when you're forced into not f it forces you into personal development, which becomes
yeah,
quite addictive, right? So, it's almost like, when you know something, it's like you know better, but you don't actually action it. I've always known, like, hang around people who have done better than you in your this is the only time you compare, right? Comparison's the
yeah,
thief of joy, but the only time you compare is I'm like, I wanna hit 50K months. I wanna have XYZ. I wanna have a business with this amount. So I need to go learn from the person who's already doing it.
that's
Not
what I always do. I'm like, who's doing what I wanna do? I need to go get in their energy.
Yeah, which is what I did for you, right? Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong, my ego was like, well, we both grew the same type of business at the
yeah,
start. Like my ego could have sabotaged me and been like, I can just do it myself.
yeah,
But then what I was doing is then I was comparing to you, which was the thief of joy of like, how
yeah,
come she has that and I don't yet? And then self-sabotage, self-doubt,
yeah,
condemning myself. So
yeah.
instead it's like, here, Ange, take my money. Now help me make that back, which you have very quickly.
Good.
So
That's the plan.
Right, exactly.
That's
I
that's
invest in
it.
you invest in mentors. Okay, then, because I really want to spotlight you because I want you guys listening to be like, I need a little Ange in my life. I want you to want me in your life for the money organization and the money
Yeah,
mindset.
I
But
can't help you organize your money. Like, I'm like, "I'll help you make it," and then we give Kim the, like, "I'm gonna help you keep it
yeah,
and be organized with it because I don't again, I have a shitty little spreadsheet, and I don't even know if it's right.
I kind of want to see it just to like give you shit as my coach. Like she's making my look at my zero file or look at my Stripe data, look at the massive linear increase. But then I want to see your spreadsheet and give you shit about
My
it.
favorite part is just the income part, like, it's, like, all the different ways I create income, and then it, like, gives me the monthly total and the yearly total, and then it works out the percentages increase from the
Yeah,
months and years before, and I'm like, I love looking at that right now. I'm like, I don't care about what I spent, I care about what I'm making. Ego.
I know, love it. Okay, so let's go back actually, because you think
Yeah,
what you do is the identity, but some women could be listening, and if you're listening and like, fuck, that just seems so overwhelming, it's because you're
yeah.
not, the identity is not there. So what are some of the first things you get people to do, like how you help them make money in their business
Well,
strategically?
first of all, it's just literally looking at their business model, like what's working, what's not. And what I find with a lot of women who have their own businesses and coaches and things like that is they'll put something out. It won't give them this instant gratification of like high sales, or it won't be the launch they expected. It won't hit the 50 people enrolled that they wanted it to. And they become disheartened. And instead of going, okay, well, what else can I try? They go and try and create something else.
Mhm.
Or they keep repeating what they're doing, thinking, oh, if I'm just consistent, it'll work eventually. And I'm like, no, if you're consistent with something that's not working or converting, it's not going to work. And so I think the problem is a lot of women don't, not a lot, but many women don't have the strategy to go, okay, this didn't work. What can I tweak? And often it is just having someone outside of you look at it and go, okay, I can see why that didn't work. And it's not this one piece, it might be multiple parts that need to come
Mhm.
together. There might be one part of the strategy that someone's not leaning into. Like you could have an incredible email funnel, but if you're not also tapping into people seeing stories, Instagram stories on that topic of objections being handled on that, if they're not also getting kind of glimpses in other places, like you're focusing on one touch point and ignoring all of the other
Mhm.
ones, that's often what happens. And so I kind of say, well, most people are like, my brain is a little bit different when it comes to messaging and when it comes to strategy. And so sometimes it's just going, I just want someone to look at it and tell me what I can't see. But
Yeah.
90% of the time, I'm like, you just haven't given it enough time and you
Mhm.
haven't actually done the tweaks based on the data that has come through so far. And so I kind of take the, what is this like? What do we call this generation? Like the Netflix and like, everything's immediate. Your
Yeah.
Uber's immediate. I'm like, hi, I'm a 13-year overnight success. Like you might be like, oh my God, you make so much money now. But I'm like, hello, I've been doing this. Like I made all these mistakes for 13 years so that
Yeah.
you don't have to.
Yeah.
And so again, for me, it's just let's look at actually what you're doing, figure out what's working, what's not. And usually what I'll do with someone is just pick one offer and get that really profitable running clean and making sure that there's monthly recurring income coming in from that and then build on the next thing, build on the next thing, you know?
Yeah. So what would be, and I think 'cause, like, I already know the answers for this, and it's kind of like different offers that you have and the different ways you can help with micro specific strategy problems or strategic problems in business. What would be the top, like obviously you gave the top thing then of the overall, but that still looks specifically different to other people. So
Yeah.
what if you were to categorize the most
Yeah.
common pillars, you know where I'm going
Yeah.
with this,
Yeah.
uh, that people need help with, what would they
Yeah.
be?
The first one is messaging for
Yeah.
sure. Most people don't know how to say, no pun intended. No, most people don't know how to say what sells, which is
Yeah.
why I called my program "Say What Sells" because I'm like, most people don't know how.
Uh-huh.
Most people think I'll make a Canva tile and I'll talk about what's inside my program. We're doing, a Zoom call every week, and you're going to get 18 modules of blah blah blah. And I'm like, no one cares. That's not what they're buying. They're not buying Zoom calls and modules. And a lot of people don't understand the messaging component. And again, that's where my brain works very uniquely, that I'm really good at messaging and I'm really good at saying, okay, what you're saying is not selling for this particular reason. So I think what my number one thing is that I see for women is your messaging does not hit. And so people don't want to buy from you because right now social media is so flooded. Like there are 20 million, not 20 million, but there's like thousands of Instagram coaches, business coaches, wealth
Mhm.
coaches, health coaches. You can go to a million different Reiki practitioners, TCR, like you can go and speak to a million manifestation coaches on Instagram. It is wild. And so the thing that makes someone stand out is not actually what's inside their program, even though that needs to be
Yeah.
results and get people what they want. The number one thing is that most people don't know how to say it. Most people are posting from ego and kind of like, well, what am I giving? What do I think is important? What am I proud of in this program? Where it's like, no, the client needs to hear what it's going to do for them,
Yes.
not a Zoom call a week, not I have worked so hard on this. No one cares. No one cares. They care that your
Yeah.
program's going to get them results. So that would be number one. And then the second one is not having a personal brand. Like people just kind of post about their offers and don't build on something that's actually going to have people want to work with them and become addicted to the culture that they've created.
Yeah. I think branding, I actually love how quickly this came around because branding has always been around everywhere all the time, no matter
Totally.
what. And with the, what's the word? It's not the, I'm thinking fast pacedness of AI, like
Yeah.
the AI coming in,
Rapid growth.
the rapid, yeah, growth of AI. I know when AI, let's break this down. AI has been around for like at
Ever.
least a decade. Yeah. In social media with messaging and copy and being able to ask, like let's use ChatGPT for example. If I
Yeah.
wanted basic business coach, I could have just asked ChatGPT. So why should I go to Ange for branding info when I could just ask ChatGPT?
Yeah, you can
And
see how it goes.
yeah, yeah, right. So now branding is more important because I have been through the phases where I use chat to help me with my messaging because I
Yeah.
fucking suck at grammar. Like I failed English.
I know, right? Same.
Then if I can disconnect, wait, how I should say this, social media is a great way for us to make business and to build business, and you help people scale and make a shitload of money through social media. But if I can disconnect straight away when I can tell something's more AI. And I think this is where personal brand comes in, is because even if you use AI to support you, I connect with the energy. Like AI doesn't create energy. And where's
Yeah.
the energy? And I think that's what I want to say is why personal brand is so important.
Yeah.
You would say even better. Because
'Cause it's
I
your
I bought into.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can what's that saying? There's like 100 ways to skin a cat. Is that
Mm,
a saying? Yeah.
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 So it's kinda like, there's 100 ways to teach messaging. There's
Yeah.
100 ways to teach wealth in the way that you do, but it's like the reason someone will choose you over someone else, the reason someone chooses me over someone else is because of my personal brand and things that are uniquely me and the things that make me different to Sally down the road. So I think what people discount when it comes to AI is if it was so easy as just put everything into AI, then we would have a lot more millionaires, like a
Yeah.
lot. AI only works as well as you feed it, I think as well.
I
Like,
am just an extension of you. That's what
yeah,
yeah, you prime I call it priming, like
yeah.
you I
Well, you're gonna get dumb questions, you give dumb answers. You give dumb questions, you get dumb
yeah,
answers,
yeah.
like vague
Point
answers.
point and case just there.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like you can use again, like if I went onto AI and said, "Hey, I want to start a business," it's probably not going to be able to scale me to 30K months like mine did in the first month. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like there's a part as well of like what's natural and inherent. Like I will put into ChatGPT, "Hey, I want some really great viral hooks." And I'm like, Absolutely not. And I've done tests where I've said to AI based on the current trends on social media, act as a I don't even know if you meant to say act as a anymore, but like act as a social media expert and give me 5 viral hooks for this niche, this demographic with this call to action. And I'm like, none of them went viral. Then I write my own and I'm like, or
See?
I train
Yeah,
my AI and be like, here's how it needs to be.
yeah,
Here's what I want it to do. Here's the activating language I want it to say. Here, like, and then all of a sudden they go viral. I'm like, I'm very good at going viral, not
yeah.
because ChatGPT is not. Has anyone ever been like, ChatGPT make me viral? Does it work? No.
Or you'll say people will say this is such a tangent. People will say that online as a hook, and then they will teach you how they train. Well, I feel like a good person would teach you
Yeah.
how they can train their
Yeah.
chat be extension of them.
Yeah.
So branding, and you know what? It's actually really simple because I've always used. You made it so simple because, and I used to get so caught up with. And this is even in network marketing days because you and I sold the same product. We sold the same business opportunity. So the only difference was me, why were people buying to me versus why were people buying to Ange, which is
100%.
branding. But
Yeah.
I feel like back then, and I think people might think now, it's like, fuck, but I've got to get so clear on what makes me different. I'm at a point now, and I think you've helped me see this too. It's actually so much easier to see how I'm so different because it comes back to identity of, well, I'm Kim Kent, and this is my philosophy, and this is how I
Yep.
do shit. And then I used to want everyone to love Kim Kent because, you know, the people pleaser. And now I'm like, the more I
No.
accept that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, you know, everyone listening, I'm obviously a cup of tea because you're fucking listening or you made it this far on this episode
Clearly
anyway.
you like her.
But when I'm not everyone's cup of tea, the people who I am their cup of tea is that's the connection there. And I actually
Yeah.
just had to be me. I didn't have to be like, oh my gosh, these are my life values. Like, I'm clear on my values, but it's like I don't need to be so. Does everything connect with my values, and are they different to my competitors' values? And it's
Yeah.
just so fucking complicated that way.
It is. It really
Yeah,
is. I feel like people are just like confused by personal branding because they think that they have to share their entire life. Like, here's
yeah.
my breakfast, here's my dog walk, here's what I'm doing at work today, here's my kid's soccer game,
Um,
here's my nighttime ritual. And I'm like, put your phone down. People don't care.
yeah,
And I say that lovingly, like I joke because I say people don't care, like quite flippantly, but honestly, they don't. People are so self-involved. They love their content when it's going to help them. They
yeah.
they want to see the content that you create for them, not because you think that they want to see your morning routine.
I want to see what your morning routine is because how is it helping you make more money?
Exactly. Here's how you can use your morning routine to make 5 figures extra this month. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Eat this specific way with the
eat
spoon in
this,
this hand and I don't know,
drink
this
water
bread,
upside down.
milk and yeah. Okay. Branding important. So we've got messaging and branding.
Yeah,
And then I think I know you talk about social media, especially Instagram, but that's
yeah,
just everything that I've learned from you doesn't it applies to not just Instagram, it's through my emails, through Facebook, through TikTok, all the different platforms. But I
yeah,
know you focus a lot on Instagram as like a foundation.
yeah.
Is there anything else other than branding and messaging to help like with these pillars? What else is there? Is there
Well,
anything
then
else?
there's the strategy piece. Like, then there's the piece of like, all right, let's look at what's going on behind the scenes. And messaging funnels into everything, like you said, your emails, your sales pages, all of it. Then it's looking at, okay, what is the strategy when you're launching? What is the strategy when people are in your world? What is the retention strategy? You know, how are you getting clients in? Like, the social media side in my mind is, you know, where the leads come from. It's lead generation, it's brand building, it's all of that. But what goes on once people are in? If you don't have a good system, if you're not running things efficiently in the back end, you can get a million clients that never re-sign. And I'm like, my number one thing is I want to stack cash. And I talk
Um,
to you about this a lot. My goal is consistently not how do I get 50 new people into a program every month. My goal is how do I get monthly recurring revenue rising. So when I started, I was like, right, I just want $10,000 of my income to be recurring. So payments from people who are in programs that are longer term. And I just was like, this is what's fun to me for my nervous system because my nervous system doesn't want to go, okay, I need to go find 50 new people this month. My nervous system says, you know what? I want to go and find the 10 people who want to work in a high level container with me for the next 6 months. I know I'm with them for the long haul. So I'm not trying to like jam everything into 1 month. Like, how do I teach you everything in 1 month? We don't
Uh-huh.
have time to test data. We don't have time to see what your audience is responding to, what feels good to you and your nervous system. We don't have time to see what kind of content really lands for you and for them, right? 1 month is enough. So I'm like, the longer term containers for me are where the client gets the most benefit and my nervous system goes, okay, I can breathe now because there's cash stacking again. So that for me is all about the systems in the back end because it's
Yeah.
quite difficult to take someone who's cold from social media and have them pay you $15,000 when they've just found you. So the nurturing behind the scenes is such an important part of why the strategy makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, love this. Well, tell us about what you've got because this is what I love about you and something you've taught me well. And there's no right or wrong way to do business. I've learned the whole be a master of one and just have one offer, but that works for some people. I found that I need multiple because
Yeah,
you and I, we both have the big piece of resistance. Like to get the real big permanent results, it's a higher investment because you get so much more out of it.
totally.
I am that person. I'm a toe dipper. Even though
Yeah.
I trust myself, I'm like, I don't want to waste money still. And not
Yeah,
from scarcity. It's like, I don't want to be
totally.
pissed off or resentful of, I want to make sure I get what I get. So you have different ways people can work with you, get a taste of you, or just go all in.
Yeah.
This is a spotlight again on you. Tell us, like, what have you got? What's coming up?
What have I got? What's coming up? I So again, like I said, I like working with people in longer term containers. So
Mhm.
I have a new offer starting right now that people are joining and coming into called Business Growth Academy. But what I've done is I've actually tiered it because I found that some people wanted to be a part of this container, but they were working towards their 5K months. I wanted a space where people could be a part of a container if they wanted to be working towards consistent $5,000 months. Right. I'm like, I don't want you to make $5,000 once. I want to set you up with the system so you know you can walk out of the program and you know that's going to keep coming in. Then there are people who are already at that level. They're kind of making their like 10 to 15 and they're like, okay, I need some more systems set up in the back end. I
Mm.
need some more help with launching and all of that so that I can hold those numbers and grow them. So that's tier 2. And then tier 3 is the women like you, the women who are making great money, who are doing really cool things but they're ready for that next level and they just need someone else with them doing it. Because I think so many women are solopreneurs and we can't be absolutely everything all the time. Sometimes we do just need someone whose brain works a little bit differently to kind of come into our business and show us what we can't necessarily see. And so that's
Yeah.
what the mastermind is all about.
We have Business Growth Academy. So that's happening. And I actually love this because it can help so many people at the different levels. And then to me, I'm like, and then the next phase from that would just be one on one anyway. Like if you're like, fuck it, one on one,
Yeah.
go all in.
100%. Go all
So
in.
the
Why
links
not?
will, so we've got all the links in the show notes out below. Is there anything else you would love to share or let people know? And like where to find you, of course.
Well, number one is if you're not already in Kim's program, Wealthy as Fuck, I have seen the behind the scenes. I have been working with her. I know her genius. So if you're not already in there, you need to join because I believe she should raise her prices like double based on the value that's in there. So if you're not in there now, you should get in before I force her to do that. You can mostly find me on Instagram or my website or Substack. And yeah, if you're interested in anything, just send me a DM. I'm always in my DMs.
Yeah. Yeah. All the links will be below. You can go find it because you might just be brand new to Ange and you're
Yeah.
like, I just want a little bite. And then you can go do the say what sells. Or maybe you want a bigger bite and you've got your branding course, you've got Amplify, whether you're like, no, fuck it, I want an academy. Where do I fit these tiers? It's just, I think it's so good. You end up doing all of your stuff. That's what I did. I did about 3 different things. I'm like, fuck it, just give me you one on one. Just be in my life. Like we enforced friendship. Like you cannot escape. I cannot escape you, and you cannot escape me now. I need you.
I love that. I love that for us.
People ask this. I don't really care. You either do or you don't. I always answer with like a 5 minute answer because I'm like I can't do it simply. Any piece of advice or something that's always stuck with you, or something powerful or even like controversial that will get people moving, or something that you heard that you're like fuck that. Just knowing that or reminding myself of that has changed my life or helped me grow my business.
One piece of advice I would give. Oh my gosh, that's a really hard question. What's the number one piece of advice? I
I know.
seriously I feel like I've already said it on here, but everything is
Mm,
data. Like so many people give up so quickly. When it comes to everything, like, I think when it comes to your business and also when it comes to how you manage your finances, everything is a sign of something else. And I think it's so important that we don't just go, "Okay, that didn't work, moving on." For anything in our life, we look at it and we go, "Okay, it didn't work, but why didn't it work?" Or pivot or try something slightly differently. I think that's really important and a part that I see so many people miss. Because if you do wanna build something with longevity, something that is going to last the test of time, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your finances, whether it's your business, whether it's your health, everything takes time. It takes time, it takes tweaking and adjusting, it takes a level of consistency and dedication. And so I would say that would be my number one thing, to look at all areas of your life and business in that way.
Yes, I think that you help me with that because it takes us out of our head and into like get out of your head and start just actually showing up if everything's done. It takes the emotion out, and it's the emotion that keeps us blocked, that keeps
Yeah,
us at a lower identity. So you can see the cycle, and then we're cutting the circuits, like cut out of
exactly.
that. Love it. Well, thank you so much for being on
Love
here.
you. Thank you for
Yes.
having me. Thank you for letting me share with your audience and all the things, and everyone go and join Wealthy as Fuck.
Everyone go and join Ange's stuff. All Business Growth Academy, all of them. Everyone join everything. It's going to change your life and make you rich.
Well, I love you. Let's just be
All
rich together.